I'm live at my usual time slot, which is 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in the UK, which is where I'm from. And I believe that is incredibly early for some of you in the US. I've got a ring light on today, pulling out all the stops for you. I've got incredibly good lighting usually. However, it's very dark and miserable here in the UK at the minute. It's basically rained all night and it's raining all day. I've got incredibly soaking wet this morning, hence the crazy hair. Hi, Donna. So I have got a little ring light on to the left to basically just brighten things up a little bit. Morning, Jackie. Hi. I say morning. It's actually afternoon to you, isn't it? Because you're in the UK as well. Anyway, I'm here. I've got a cup of tea. I have dried out from a morning walk, and I've got a piece that I'm going to repaint. Short story, I messed up on this piece. Basically what happened is I put something on the top of it and it had a leak in the box that I had on top of it. I did need windscreen wipers on my glasses. Visibility was low. So I put something on top of here and I don't know what it was, but it's sticky. The top was sticky, and we went away for a few days with the kids like a couple of weeks ago, came back and it had leaked and seeped and all sorts. I thought I could sand the top and redo it. I probably could have done, to be honest. But you know when you like something, you don't love it? That's how I felt about this. So I'll show you this little piece. I'll show you the what it looks like. So what it looks like is, it's just like a little side table, and it's got a drawer at the bottom and then it's got a drawer at the top. This was painted using Terra clay paint in a few of their colours, mainly green, but it is an awesome green. It's my favourite colour in the range. The green that you can see here is pistachio. It is absolutely stunning. It's a really pretty colour. And the green that you can see underneath is malachite, if you can just make out the darker green. Wow, someone's got snow. Mary's got snow. Wow, jealous. We've just got rain and greyness, which is not the one. And I also created a custom brown to sort of add a little bit of shading. However, like I say, I liked it. I didn't love it. And then I made the error of putting something on the top which went sticky. I sanded it down. I have used white spirits to clean it, but I think I might have to sand the entire top off. So we're not going to work on the top today. You made that colour with regular chalk paint. Oh, let us know the recipe. I've made similar. I haven't quite made this one. It's just such a cool colour. So my plan for this is to repaint it with you. We probably won't get it finished because there's quite a lot of like all under here and the bottom shelf and whatnot. And all I've done is I've literally scuff sanded a bit of the texture away because it was kind of a textured finish. I've also taken the original handles off and sanded where they were. There was a little mark. I'm going to change the handles. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm changing the colour palette. I'm not going to stick with green. I'm going to do something else. So we're still going to use Terra because it's awesome. But I'm going to use a very simple colour palette. I may introduce black at a later stage. But the colour palette that I'm using is Galaxy, which is a really kind of deep blue. Cerulean blue, which is that. And 60% daisy and 40% antebellum blue. Interesting. Thanks for the colour recipe. So if you want to match this colour, which is pistachio in the Terra clay paint range, someone's just posted a recipe. And then I'm going to use for a highlighter, I'm going to use Moonbeam, which is the white. I hope I didn't just rub that in my head. Which is the white. So I'm going to do, it's going to be a little bit more dark and moody, I think. So I'm just going to crack straight on. There's no prep to do. This was prepped and painted quite a while ago, actually. But like I say, it just wasn't meant to be. I've got a load of brushes here. If you want a bit of texture, then you can use a natural bristle brush with Terra. If you want a smoother finish, you can use a Dixie Belle synthetic brush. Tree Frog Green and Daisy. Yep, I've used that mix before as well, Jackie. That comes out a nice sort of zingy green. So I'm just going to use a synthetic brush for now. But I'm not going to be painting this on. I'm going to be stippling it on. And I'm going to do a sort of a bit of a smoky blend. So it's just going to be a little bit more dark and mysterious. So this one's called Galaxy. And I'm just going to outline really quickly where I want the darker blue to be. I have been playing with Terra Paint a lot. Hi Anna from Ireland. I've been playing with clay paint a lot, like sort of not in front of a camera. I've just done a really, really chippy chair. There's going to be, it's not going to be a YouTube tutorial. I didn't film it for YouTube. Just because I wasn't actually entirely sure how it was going to turn out. Yeah, I am feeling the blues over greens at the minute, Jackie. I don't know what it is. But these two colours look fab together, by the way. This deeper blue and the green. So I'm just going to make sure I've got all the underneath. Yeah, I can show you my chair if you would like to see it in a sec. So I've been playing with it a lot and trying to get some really cool finishes with it. I hope this one's going to be relatively simple and quick and easy to do, because it's been painted. It's actually, the first time it was painted was using silk, just basically to demonstrate that you can use silk underneath Terra clay paint. So Terra clay paint is a clay paint, obviously. It's the main difference between the two. This is the question that I get asked the most. The main difference between this and chalk mineral paint is the fact that this has got the ability to be reactivated even once it's dried down. Obviously, chalk mineral paint, it blends phenomenally. You can keep it reactivated with water. So if you keep spritzing it, you will keep it open and you can carry on kind of playing with it. But once it has dried down, if you spray that with water, you could probably rub it and you might get a little bit to move depending on how long it's been dry. But this completely reactivates like watercolours. So if you've ever used watercolours before, you'll know that you can basically wet your paintbrush and go over it and you can reactivate where you've already painted. It could have dried for a day, it could have dried for a week or so. I did do a short stint in watercolour class. And that's the main difference. The other difference is that this has no self-leveling properties whatsoever. So silk mineral paint will self-level. Chalk mineral paint also has self-leveling properties. This is not self-leveling. It wants to hold texture. So if you're a fan of textured finishes, chippy finishes, blended finishes, boho, all the different kind of finishes, then this paint is very playful. Hi Kelly. So I'm going to go in with this one, which is Cerulean Blue. I'm using a different brush just because it's here. And I'm going to just stipple the Cerulean Blue. And this is going to take a couple of layers to get the kind of effect that I want. Do I want this brush? Is it being a bit... I think I might want a different brush. So that brush was leaving kind of rounded marks. Can you see? Because of the shape of it. It's got like a domed tip. And as I was pressing down, it was kind of leaving sort of circular marks. I don't want circular marks. So I'm just using the very end. This is a flat... This brush has got like a completely flat end. It's not like a tapered one, or it's not got a curved end. This is flat. So I'm just using that sort of flat edge. I'm not painting it in a traditional kind of way. And I'm just going to add some of this cerulean blue where I kind of want to make it a little bit lighter. So I have got a water mister here. Again, clay paint, like chalk mineral paint, handles water very, very nicely. You can add water to it if you want to. You can spritz it with water. I'm not going to at the minute, but I have got my mister bottle just in case. So I just want to make this almost like melt into the deeper blue, but not like a perfect blend. I want to do it a little bit more kind of boho-y. Sometimes it helps looking, because I can see here I've got a big old chunk of the darker blue. I don't want it to be symmetrical. I'm not bothered about that. I just kind of want it to melt the two colours together. But this is only the first coat, so it doesn't actually have to be perfect. I'm going to be going over the top of this, basically because I want full coverage. Also, layers add lots of depth and that kind of thing. So I'm going to build that up. So the third colour that I'm going to use, and this is just going to be a little bit of highlight, I'm going to use a smaller brush, is the white in the range, which is called Moonbeam. I'm going to show you my chippy chair in a sec as well. So I'm just going to take the Moonbeam and just put it right in the centre. So this is a really easy 3-colour kind of boho-y blendy look. And then I'm just going to take the white and just kind of feather that out into the cerulean blue to add that kind of highlight in the centre. And take a little bit more of that cerulean blue. So if you can see this starting to dry down, what you can do is now you could spritz it with water if you wanted to. And that would basically keep it reactivated and allow you to kind of play around with it a little bit. Luckily, it's freezing cold here today. It's not freezing cold. It's not warm. So the paint is not drying down quick, which is good. It means I've got a lot of like sort of play time in it. So where the sort of colours are all meeting together, it's creating lots of kind of in-betweeny shades. So obviously we've only got the 3 colours here, but in between where the galaxy and cerulean blue meet, is it better when the paint dries down as opposed to drying up? Are you taking a mickey? So yeah, you can see all these different kind of ranges of colour where they're all kind of mottling together. Did you see how quick that was? So quick. And it's just, I'll bring you in for a little close up. Oh, hang on. There we go. Can you see? There is a sort of slight bit of texture to the surface, but it's super quick. You had trouble with it looking great when wet, awful when dry. Yeah, so the thing to remember about Terra clay paint is when it dries, don't panic. When it dries down, it goes a lot lighter. But just remember what it looked like wet, because when you apply your top coat, it'll go back to looking like this. It is a little bit scary when it dries down. I'm not going to lie. When it dries down and, yeah, you think you've got it looking amazing, and then it dries and then you think, oh no. But keep faith. Like I say, I have been playing around with Terra a lot. There are a couple of top coats in the range that you can use. Terra Tough, Terra Matte. You can also use Gator Hide. I have also played around with the clear coats from Dixie Belle. It starts to look patchy as it dries. Yeah, it does. It's just keep faith, and when you put your top coat on, it goes back. I've been there, I've done it. It is a bit scary. I actually really like Gator Hide over this. It just tends to keep the colours looking like this. When you apply your top coat, it doesn't tend to smudge. So there is supposed to be a wax coming out for Terra, but there's been some epic delays on that, which is a little bit annoying, but we are just trying to find ways to get around it. So let me show you my chippy chair that I've been playing with. Hi, Sue. Let me find my chippy chair. It's over the other side. 2 seconds. Over the other side, like I've got a huge workshop. I haven't. Okay, so this is what I've been playing with. This has been kind of, I have got some footage of this on my phone, but I haven't done a YouTube tutorial because it is playing around with sort of not new techniques, but techniques that I wasn't sure were gonna kind of work out. So this chair has been painted a couple of different times by me as a prop chair. So every now and again I'll need a pop of colour for a certain thing. So if I can recall correctly, I believe it was mermaid tail. Then I think there was honky tonk red. It was that for a while. Then I painted over it in Hampton olive, and then I've used Terra clay paint to get this chippy look. So obviously the layers underneath have helped get the kind of chippiness, because they were already there and dried down, and I've had this chair absolutely ages. So the colours that I then layered up were, and I can't even remember the order without looking back on my phone, but I know that I used the yellow in the range, which is daisy. No, it's not. It's daffodil. Why would they call 2 yellows after flowers? Don't confuse matters. Okay, was it daffodil? Yeah, it's daffodil, isn't it? Is it? Yeah, I think it is. I had too much wine last night. So I've used yellow in the Terra clay paint. I also use Moonbeam because I have this thing when I do, it is really easy to rub the Terra for effects. I have this thing when I do these kind of chippy looks, I like to put a neutral colour in, so like a white or an off-white. If I'm using chalk mineral paint, I'll sometimes use drop cloth because it's got a nice kind of antique-y look to it, and it's also really good coverage. So I did the Moonbeam in this. I like to use a neutral because a lot of the time, if you look at chippy stuff, chippy doors, chippy furniture, chippy whatever, at some point in its life, it's normally had a coat of white gloss paint, normally. So I like to see a little bit of neutral kind of colours, but I also find that it like ties it together. Sometimes if there are too many colours going on and there isn't a neutral, I do find that it can sometimes be a little bit crazy to look at. Crazy is usually good, but I just, over the years of kind of doing doing kind of chippy looks, I've just found that I like to have a neutral in there. It kind of just balances it out a little bit. It does help it look faded as well, because I also use coloured waxes on this, which I'll get to in a sec. So I don't want to sit in my clay paint that's open. So if you want a tutorial on this, you'll have to let me know, a proper one. So you can see, there we go, there's a bit of the turquoise, so that would have been, I think, mermaid tail or possibly the Gulf, I'm not sure. And then I put red, honky tonk red, and that was the original, not the original finish, but the original finish that I did ages ago. Then like I say, I did Hampton olive, and those layers have helped kind of with this chippy look. And then I used daffodil, I used Moonbeam, and I did use the green pistachio, but I mixed it in with a little bit of desert tan. So desert tan is actually becoming one of my favourite neutrals. It's really, really pretty. It's a sort of taupey, mushroomy colour. It's really nice. I mixed in a little bit of that into the green, into the pistachio, to just tone it down. You can see how bright the pistachio is on here, and versus it's kind of made it a little bit more a little bit more sort of subdued, a little bit more duller, because I thought it might look a little bit too crazy if I went in with just pistachio. So I did that, finished it with Gator Hide, sealed it with Gator Hide, because you do need to seal Terra clay paint. It's very porous until sealed, and also, like I say, it dries a lot lighter. So until you put a top coat on, it's gonna not look the same as what it did when you painted it. So I used Terra because it's quite shiny. Thought it might look like gloss paint, you know, like we know when you see like an old chair that's still really shiny, but it's chipped away because it's had layers and layers and layers of gloss paint applied over it. And then, because I'd sealed it with Gator Hide, I'd locked in all of the chippiness. I'd locked in all of the Terra. I then went in with Best Dang Wax in brown. So just because Best Dang Wax is not advised to seal Terra, it doesn't mean that you can't still use it in a decorative way once you have sealed it with either one of your Terra top coats or Gator Hide or another clear coat. Just because you've sealed it, it doesn't mean you can't then go in with the wax and make it decorative. So I went all over with Best Dang Wax in brown and buffed it off. Used a little bit of clear wax to kind of erase places, left it sort of in other recessed areas like the detail on the legs. And I used various different sort of techniques to chip away at this paint, but it was more of an experimental piece because I have a very strong obsession with chippy furniture. I love it. I just don't do it an awful lot because it actually struggles to sell. But I'm just going to be keeping this for a prop. So I wanted to just have a proper play with Terra. And I used sandpaper, I used a scraper. I used lots and lots of different ways to distress this, to make it kind of look really chippy and old and battered. Like it's had loads and loads of different colours layered over it and chipped away at a time. So that has all been done with Terra. Like I say, there were colours underneath, which I have kind of used to my advantage. You can see some of the red, which works really well actually. The red, and then some of the turquoise as well. I just thought I'd put the leg in a pot of Terra then, but I didn't. And then obviously there's detail up here. I'll bring you in for a bit of a closer look. So it is mega chippy. If you're a fan of perfectly painted finishes, smooth finishes, probably best to avoid this video, not gonna lie. Might be a bit of a trigger for you. But yeah, that's what I've been kind of playing with off camera in the wings, because I really want to use I want to use Terra a bit more because the colours in the range are absolutely gorgeous. So you can use Terra in... I don't think I could get this finish with chalk mineral paint. I don't think I could get it this chipped away and kind of authentic looking, because I did heavily get loads and loads of heavy texture. I wonder if sticky tape would work to distress Terra. Yeah, it might do. You want mega chippy. Someone wants a mega chippy tutorial. Okay, so what I'll do with this tutorial, because like I said, I did capture it on my phone, footage on my phone. I'll probably be doing it over maybe a couple of parts on reels, you know, like short video form on TikTok or Instagram or something, just because all at once it might be a bit long and a bit sort of overwhelming. But what I will do is I will get a piece of furniture that is suited to a chippy look, and I will put it to the top of my wish list for content. Somebody wants mega chippy, you are going to get mega chippy. You ask and you will receive. I'll do mega chippy. You don't need to tell me twice. I absolutely love this kind of finish. It's my absolute favourite to just play around with. And it just goes to show as well, this is obviously now, it's got silk on it, it's got chalk mineral paint, it's got Terra, so you can use all three paints at once to get kind of different effects. And I think that looks even more authentic. The one thing that I do want to point out though is that obviously this is probably, the chippiness is probably going to use quite a lot of products. I am always conscious, especially at the minute with like the cost of living and stuff, I'm always conscious about using loads and loads of products on one piece, because I just find it sometimes is really unachievable for people to go out and do that. But you can obviously, if you've already got some of those products, you can probably use a little bit of silk, use a little bit of chalk mirror paint, and then maybe 1 or 2 Terra colours. You could probably do that. So what I did do with this as well is I mixed some with sea spray to get loads of texture. Oh, that's good. Thank you. That's nice to know. Woodcrafter. I don't know your name. Identify yourself. I do actually recall your name on my YouTube videos because I always reply to all the comments on there. So yeah, I did mix a very, very heavy sort of thick paste with Terra paint. And I can't recall which colour it was. It was possibly the white, possibly the moonbeam. I'm going to have to watch the footage back because I've kind of been... Oh, Linda, I'll remember that. Yeah, I'll have to watch the footage back. So I've kind of been doing it, chopping and changing it in between. I even did a bit outside when the weather was nice at the weekend, which it is not now. So yeah, I'll chop a little video together so you can see it in like short format, and then I'll do a longer form one for my YouTube channel. Mega chippy. That's what I'll call the video. Mega chippy. But yeah, so much fun. So much fun to do. So that's I thought I'd show you that. And you can see this is now drying down. It's not completely dry, but it is starting to dry, so it's fading up. It's drying, it goes lighter. And I'm hoping that it's not going to take me too long, because this table has been in my workshop for ages. Absolutely ages. And it was my own fault. I should have moved it, and then I wouldn't have put a box on top of it and ended up basically ruining it. I can do the bottom bit with you if you want. It's just the same as the top, but we can if you want to stay on a little bit longer. If you've got more important things to do, totally understand. Totally understand. So I'm just going to take the dark blue, which is Galaxy, all the way down the legs. I'm not going to faff around doing anything fancy on the legs. I'm just going to keep those that deeper blue. The blues are absolutely beautiful in this range, I must say. They are really nice. And the good thing about these colours is they're really vibrant. So you all know how much I like to mix colours. And the good thing is when you have really vibrant tones, it's really easy to mix colours without them getting muddy. Excuse me, I'm going to hiccup in a minute. If you have more muted tones, they get muddy much quicker. So it's much, much easier to mix vibrant shades, and it gives you basically an endless palette of colours that you can sort of play around with. I'm actually trying to mix a couple of custom pinks. I've got a really pretty cabinet that I want to paint in Terra, but it has to be the right kind of pink. It has to be a bit tea rosy, but possibly a little bit warmer. So I am in the process of mixing some pinks together. And I know you can get some really nice pinks in this range, because Melissa from the Top Drawer RVA, she did a piece that blew me away. Like, it's my favourite piece that she's ever done. And it was with Terra. And she hand painted some roses on the front of her chest thing. And it's absolutely beautiful. It's so pretty. Her hand painting skills are phenomenal. I wish I could hand paint like that. And she mixed some pinks that were nice and sort of dusky and not too cool toned. So I need to go and maybe have a little word with Melissa and see what she mixed together to get those sort of dusky pinks. I've got a good idea, but it's easier asking, isn't it? Sometimes. I'm still here. Don't worry, I haven't fallen asleep. I was concentrating then. Just use a little bit of the white right in the centre. And then when I go in with my second coat, it's obviously going to build up on the coverage. Let's have a look. Don't interrupt perfection. Not quite perfection. What was the other thing I was going to tell you? Oh yeah, so obviously I'm live here on the Dixie Belle YouTube channel right now. And I will be continuing my lives here on the Dixie Belle YouTube channel on this regular time slot. And I used to go live on a Wednesday on my own YouTube channel. Basically because I'm impulsive, I all of a sudden decided to switch back to Facebook Lives last week with about a couple of hours worth of warning, just because I find I get bored on the same platform all the time. So I am going to still be live. I'm still going to be live on a Wednesday at the same time. So it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon UK time, but it's going to be on my Facebook page. Because I've missed some of the people that are on Facebook that aren't on YouTube. And it's just good to switch it up a little bit, isn't it? So that's what I'm going to be live tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow I'll be live. I literally have no idea what I'm going to be doing. But we'll figure something out. I've got nearly 24 hours to figure it out. I might even go and get another piece of furniture, possibly. I don't know yet. So yes, that's what I'm going to be doing. So hopefully you can see how quick and easy it is to get that kind of boho-y kind of smoky blend with Terra. It is super easy. The colours are delicious. I will do a chippy YouTube tutorial. Try and say that. Chippy YouTube tutorial. I will find a piece of furniture that suits that kind of style. And that's it from me today. I'm not going to keep you any longer. I've been chatting away and not really done that much painting. But yeah, you get the idea of where we're going with this. A little bit more dark, a little bit more serious. And blue. I still like green, but I'm just feeling blues at the minute. It's a very loud helicopter coming over. So, yes. Hopefully you can join me tomorrow on my Facebook page. I'd love to see you there for a little bit of banter. It's always fun. It's always fun. And yeah, Jackie, see you tomorrow. Did you get another vehicle or are you still waiting on the van? I have another vehicle. I have the van back and it's fixed, but I'm selling it because I don't trust it. Once bitten, whatever the phrase is, I can't trust it anymore. I'm just waiting for it to break down again. So yeah, I've got another vehicle and the van's for sale. So I will hopefully catch you tomorrow on my Facebook page live, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, UK time, which is 8 AM EST. Twice bitten, whatever it is. Yeah, exactly. 2 engine blow-ups and no more. No more. So thanks for joining me. I'm just rabbiting on about nonsense now. But thank you for joining me today on this little Terra demo. Hopefully you like the chippy chair. Chippy tutorial coming soon. See you next week or see you tomorrow. If you want to join me on Facebook page, I'm going before I talk myself silly. Bye.